Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this lovely complete series which I've probably been saying for the last two videos. This is it, City Emotions 2. I've been saying I was going to do that, and on this lovely map, the Cardiff map. As you can see, I'm going to be doing it in a sandbox mode. We're going to be disabling cities growth. It does advise you in the video, the description for this, because this is a Steam Workshop map to disable city growth, because you'll find people start living in here in like the parks, and it's not so bad going around the fields, but in like all the parks and stuff like that. So you got to disable it. So we'll disable that. We're not going to disable random objections, because sometimes they can give us a little burst of money and this, that, the other, and it could be quite interesting to add it to it. But we are going to we're not going to have unlimited money either, because we'll do this as properly as you play the game. So these are all going to be, that's just going to be disabled, that's going to remain, and of course we're not going to have unlimited money. We're going to play as normal difficulty, so we're not going to do occasion normal experience, we're just going to be normal, just playing normal as anything else. So let's get into starting mode. So I'll probably skip this a little bit, because this takes a bit sometimes. And then I'll get on talking about... Oh, hang on, it's speeding up quick enough. No, it's slowed down. Oh, I just still continue talking. Yeah, I thought, like I said before, for a while I've been saying I'll do a complete series, and I said recently I'll do, for the last two videos probably, I'll do a City Emotions complete series, as City Emotions 2 I should say, complete series, as the Cardiff route map came out as Steam Workshop, and I thought it'd be quite interesting to play as a local person to live in Newport but quite close to Cardiff. I thought it'd be an interesting map to play and go along. Just waiting for the businesswoman, the tourist and the person from the YMCA to go in. Oh, just the YMCA to get into the tram. Come on, get in the tram. Cardiff awaits for us. Come on. And there we go. We're finally here. So there we go. This is Cardiff map. You could probably see there's the lava from the earth. Let's get it that way, so we're facing north. So of course this is the water, where this would be the channel, and we'll have Cardiff Bay here. Of course you'll probably also notice that a lot of the buildings are not accurate in Cardiff, because you would have like the Senedd and the you would also have the Welsh Millennium Centre. They're being used as other items have been put there instead, so you got to bear that in mind. Of course it comes all the way down here. It's Penarth in the map, and outside Penarth, the village is outside Penarth. Come along all the way up, get Grangetown and Canton area, which is by here. This is the city centre of Cardiff. They've put it as roads can go through all the way through, so that's quite interesting. You can see there's the gherkin. So like I said, the buildings are not accurate, as that would be the university buildings. Instead they have that as the House of the Parliament. Of course the lines are there from the lines going up in the excuse me, the lines that would go up to the valleys and stuff like that. This is Butte Park, and of course there would have been a castle here, but they've just put a couple of shops and everything. So like I said, it's not completely accurate. Coming all the way down here, Cowbridge Road area, and comes all the way down to the bottom. You may also see the road there scooting along. This would be Cardiff City Stadium and all, and the road that would bypass that would continue on all the way up towards back to the motorway. And so you got this side of Cardiff, comes all the way along, north side of Cardiff, we can see. This be North Road and Gabolfa Interchange, Roath Park area, and it just comes all the way along. This be Newport Road and Splot kind of thing, and this would just be coming into St Mellons. So of course that's a nice little rundown on the map. As you can see, it's quite nice detailed of the map. He does say that he used Google Earth to plot most of the things you notice, but if you're like me, you would also notice some of the times you would notice, like here the road goes under the railway line, well really the road would go above the railway lines and stuff like that. But they're little things out of the whole situation, so we won't go into too much detail. So let's get in. The first thing we're going to probably do is a bus route, as that is generally what you first would do on most of this game. So we'll first of all move all the way over. These are all the different tools you can have, because we're going to tools. This is to construct for the different markers, but we'll get into that in a sec. So first thing we'll get into is the road, and we'll go for a regular road. You can have a one-way road, avenue, expressway, pedestrian street, trolley wires, that's if you're going to put trolley buses out, tramways, tram tracks, of course for putting the trams, metro tracks, likewise put metro trains, and monorail. So we'll move on down to here to regular road. Excuse me. And we'll go up to, we'll get this one, I'd say, with no sidewalks or anything like that. And we'll just get us this bus lane, and we'll move that from just there to there. And we'll double click, and I'll let the road go down. And we'll move into here. So of course this will be for the monorail, for your boats, for the metro, trams, trolley bus, which is pretty much the same as bus. Any differences? The structure is slightly different. That's all. So we'll just go along here. Okay, it wants to play up, so we'll just do that, and we'll get that, and we'll go like that. Simple as. And we'll push the delete button, and it makes that a lovely straight road without the bus stopping and starting and this, that, the other. So there we go. We have our first depot. Let's just take that away now. And now we need to think of a route. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some bus stops about. So the first bus stop I'm going to use is just these normal bog standard bus stops, cheap and cheerful to maintain. We'll just put that there and that there. And as we're getting closer into the town, I'm going to put it with a shelter, so a bit of shelter for passengers. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm not going to have it come back down this way. I'm going to loop it down the other way. So the bus is going to come down here instead on the return. And we'll have that going up there. Oh, come on. Which way have I got the arrows? Yep, that way. Up there, and I'll put that one there. They'll join together by here. And I'll run along the same road all the way along. So you pretty much need to put them both ways on the road. Or wherever the way you want the route to go. So I'm going to plod the line along here. I'm going to have the line going all the way from St Mellons into the town via Newport Road, which is pretty much a route today. So we'll come along. We'll just put a stop right there, just as before he comes along. Now we won't bother putting stops along by here. Oh, shall we? We could put a stop there, just to let people off. But then there's no way of people getting on. Yeah, there's no pavements along there, so we'll put the first stop here, like I was going to plan to do. So we'll put first stops there, and we'll just keep plucking the stops along, and we'll finally put one there. Right, now I'm going to not continue along Newport Road because that pretty much goes there. I'm going to go via this way into just cutting into Splot a little. I'm just following the route that it says bus route, just so the buses will have an easier run along. So if there's any traffic, they won't be affected by it. Of course, you probably noticed that there's this ring that comes around. Now, really, the ring is quite important. You'll notice in different ones, different rings. So I'll show you in a bit. I'll show you in one of the series. Well, actually, I'll probably show you in a bit. The rings change with different transport, but you want it not like dead on top of each other. Really, I've done it on a few points, but you don't really want it proper on top because the bus is stopping too much. You want to bring it out a little, so about by there. So it's just overlapping, but not massively. So you could push it all, stretch it to the minimum like that, which would also do just as well. And we'll, as we're coming into the centre, I'm going to put some big posh bus stops now. I'm going to put 2 bus stops there, and I'm just going to put one of these bog standard ones right here, just on the cusp of coming in. And I'm going to make the route go different ways as it comes into the centre. So we'll have a bus stop here, one by here, and we'll send it up this way, and back around on ourselves around here, on this avoid the city centre route. And we'll just put the last one by there. So there we go, that's our little route we are going to be running along with our bus stops. As you can see, if I do the camera like that, so we're going to be starting along there, working our way right along into the city centre and back. So that's pretty much simple, easy and simple. So the next thing I'm going to do is click on the transport panel and click on this, which is create a line. So it starts off with, as you're coming into the transport panel, you've got this, which is lines. This is your depot, so as you can see, depot 1, which is here, in yellow, showing that there's no services activated from it. This tells you all the stops, all yellow telling you there's no service activated from them. They will change different colours depending on the mood when you've connected them to the people. So if it goes yellow, it would probably, and you've connected them, as people are starting to not get happy with the service length of time they're waiting. Red, they're not happy at all. And of course this one, the vehicles. So we'll go back to the line. You may also see these symbols. As we can see, this one's for bus, this one's for the trolley bus. The trolley bus, I have a fact to tell you about trolley bus. The trolley bus are cheaper to run than the buses quite often, but it costs more to put them in. So you've got to bear that in mind. That if you're going to put a trolley bus in, it's going to cost more to put activator. But you will fit more people on a trolley bus than a normal bus because it doesn't have to have much room for an engine. So bear that in mind. Then you got the tram. So of course you're working your way up to the amount of the amount that people could take. So the bus is the least that people can get on. Trolley bus not as much more, but a little bit more. Then you got the tram, which can carry a lot more people than the bus. The metro carries a lot more people than the tram. The water boat carries about the same amount. It's just another option across the water. It may do a route like that, probably, as you can see on the map, coming across probably from Penarth or something like that from Cardiff Bay. And with monorail as well. We may do a demonstration of the monorail somewhere in the centre of Cardiff maybe. So we'll click on create new. So there we go, we have this little table. We'll just get rid of the panel. And so we have this saying bus line 1, vehicle running 0 of 1, because we've got no buses running, no buses. And of course this gives us information. But first thing we're going to do is push this button with the green dot to make it red. So it will say line is not activated. Just to tell us that the bus line is not in use. And then we're going to click this button, add stops. That's the first thing you've got to do. Now the first thing to do is push it, click the button on the bus depot, because you've got to designate the bus route to a depot. So that designates it to the depot. And we'll just click along to the stops we want. So you just simply put your cursor over, click, done. Click, done. That's all you do. You just work your way along, clicking the buttons, adding the route. Now one thing is quite good about this, and you probably find it may happen later on, that we can delete if we wanted to add another stop to most of this. So I'll do a demonstration in a sec, maybe here. Oh no, we can't do it at this moment, but you just click along. Now say like when we've finished this completely and we missed out that stop out of it all, we could go back into here and add it, and it will put it into its order. So we'll just click along for a sec, and I'll pick a stop, and we'll miss a stop, and I'll show you in a bit. You can name all the stops as well, instead of just saying bus stop 41 and everything. You could name the stops realistically, if you like, so then you know where the bus stops are. Makes it easier to work out which bus stop is what then, if you like. But at the moment we'll just keep it as numbers, and so we'll just click along as we're going along, running this service along quite nicely. Avenues, I should say, are brilliant to put tramways in. And I will be doing a thing in tramways, because this is going to be a complete series, so you can see me improving the transport links in this place and hopefully make a nice bit of money out of this as well. So we're just clicking along all the stops as long. Quite simple. Just work the way you put all your stops. Down we go. I missed any there. Just work along. It's quite easy when you haven't put any buses to the stops because they're yellow, and when you click them they go white. But if you haven't put a bus, if buses already stop at those stops, a route stop at that stop, before you do that you'll notice they will be white already. So you have to watch what you push then more. But the blue line does help you. So we're not going to push on this one. I'm going to show you, demonstrate in a sec what you can do. So I'm going to click straight back to depot. So there we go, the route is now complete. So if I turn around and go, right, I've missed that stop, as simple as I push add stop, click on it, and there we go, it'll add it right to the bottom again. So there we go, bus stop 2 is added. It works out in the order where to put it. Now of course it's now visible, showing us the blue line, and as we can zoom out, you can't really see it clearly, but you can see a blue line just working its way along. You can see it on the map a bit more. There's a lovely blue line as it goes along. So there we go, that's our route done. So the next thing we'll do is look at the timetable. So we'll look on editing timetable. Now this game has a very good thing of editing timetable, so you can pick what time you want the buses to leave and so on. So you don't have to turn around and make sure the bus is always on the route. You can edit when the times you want the buses to run. So at the moment I'm going to move that back from 6 o'clock to 5. So we'll have a bus service running at 5 o'clock. And as we can see, all shaded in yellow for this weekend one is the bus route running at 5 o'clock. And I'll end the service at 3 o'clock. At 11 o'clock at night. 2300, so 3 o'clock. Now we can also click on all these tabs which adds the different times of the route. So we'll click on the morning one. Now we don't want it starting at 7 o'clock because we don't want two buses running at the same time. So I'll move that one to 6 o'clock. So we'll have a service at 6 and I'll extend this one. So then we'll have a service at 8 o'clock. So here we have an hourly service to 9 o'clock. From 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock it will be an hourly service. Now if we click on the evening one we can do the same here. Now I would advise that when you're doing this you work out how long your route is as well. So our route is quite a long route. So we know that our buses, these are the times the buses leave the depot. So we know that we need the buses to leave the depot earlier. So for example here, than here, because the time is left here at 5 o'clock. The time it will get into the city centre is coming up to 7 o'clock. By that time, rush hour is not really that in full swing probably. So we want it around this time anyway, so it's in when the rush hour is picking up. You may find that you may need to extend the route or minimise it from a 2 hourly gap, but we'll leave it a 2 hourly gap at the moment as we will run it fine as it is. Now we'll move on down to the weekend, and I'm going to take it off from Saturday, so we don't have the weekend service on a Saturday, and I'm going to put the weekday service on a Saturday. So it's a 2 hourly service on a Saturday. Now I could change the weekend service, which I probably will. So we'll make it do the same time, 5 o'clock start, and we'll finish it on a Sunday, still at 11 o'clock at night. But they're running every 3 hours. Now we could change that if we want, but at the moment I'm just going to leave it at that, and we're going to run perfectly fine just running at that. Now you can pick and choose if you want your night service. Simple as you can turn around and say no, I don't want a night service, or yes, and pick which day you want a night service. But I'm going to keep a night service on this because it's the first bus route and it's quite a long one, so it keeps a good service running. And I'm going to push this all the way down to 3 o'clock, and I'm going to, instead of having it every 3 hours, I'm going to put it as 2 hours. So there we go. The bus runs every 2 hours, 24 hours a day. So that's pretty much a nice lovely service to run. Now I could take it off on the Sunday, for example, and then push customary, so we can see, push the custom tab, and we can unclick all these, and I could push end time, and we could push it all the way, let's say about 2 o'clock, I say, and we'll start it at 2 o'clock. So we'll start at 2 o'clock, push that back so it's closer to 2 o'clock, and we'll put that to, you can turn around, you can leave it at that, or you could just move it all the way along, so that that's how many hours it would take for a bus to run on the service. So we'll push it down to 3, and so we've done it as through the week and the weekend on a Saturday. So on the weekday and a Saturday, the bus runs every 2 hours, even at night. But on a Sunday, it still remains every 3 hours. And when it comes into Monday, it goes back to 2 hourly service. So you can keep it running, like simple as just like that, pretty much, if you'd like. So we'll push the button OK, because we're happy with that timing. So that's done. So let's have a look at the other one. So that shows us the list of buses that are running, and we can have a look to see what type of bus, how full they are, and this, that, the other, and if people are happy on them. This one tells us all our stops and names and everything. It's pretty much like that, add and remove, and we can move the stops and how the time between each stops take. Let's look at the information. So the information tells us it's owned by us, Dobbzy Company. Our income is 0 because it's not inactive, but our expenditure is £33. That's because we are paying for the maintenance of the bus stops. The length is 2.5 kilometres, and our estimation duration is 19 hours and 14 minutes. Maximum vehicles needed is 14. Now this is an important number to remember to how many you need in the depot. Average vehicles needed 10.5, but we'll do it as 14 as it would recommend, as if it hits in traffic, at least you've still got buses waiting in depot. And also, more buses you have waiting in the depot, the next bus come in, it can be serviced then when it gets to the depot, and so the maintenance on the bus would be better. You don't want the bus to break down on service, as you will lose reputation, and secondly, money. As we can see, it's designated the bus depot 1. We could click that, and that gives us our thing from bus depot 1, and we could also just click that, and it gives us. Anyway, as we can see, passengers transported today 0 because it's not activated. Total passengers transported 0 as it's not activated, and daily average is 0.0. For example, that's not activated. So next thing we need to do is turn around, and we can see this is telling us what's in the depot. So it's owned by us. The model of depot is a large depot. Vehicle available 0, as we have no buses in here. Maintenance caption 20. Now this is important. You can put as many buses as you want in this depot, and as many lines as you like from the depot. So you could put 30 buses in there. Excuse me. But, and this is a very important but, if there's say like you put, this takes 14 buses, we'll put 15 in maybe, and there's another bus route where we're running out of the same depot and it runs 14 buses, we put 15 for example again. That is 30 buses, as we just said. Now if there was at least 20 in there at a time, so it's not too bad if there's going to be 5 on the route at each time. There's plenty of time for the buses to come in. We'll ignore this bit here at the moment. We'll get to them in a bit. But it's not too bad. But if it goes over 20, your buses will queue out here. And if they go back out of service quickly, they won't be maintained in time. So it's very important to listen to that. You've got to make sure your buses run out at a specific time and all like that. So just bear that in mind, like you've got enough buses to run that if your buses are late, there's a bus that can go so it don't miss its time slot. Secondly, you're also going to make sure that there is no make sure that you have plenty of space that a bus can go in and wait, be maintained before it comes back out. So the first thing we're going to do is push this button which says bus by vehicles. You can do this by here as well and go to vehicles and then push by vehicles, but we're going to do it via this way. Now here we go, we have all the vehicles. Now I've got quite a few DLC and add-ons, so there'll be a few buses here that you wouldn't get if you just get the bog standard game. But as we can see, as if you look, for example, there's this bus. Purchase price is £400, so very cheap. Maintenance, very good. So it needs to run. It'll take 5 hours before it gets about 5 hours for maintenance required every kilometres. So pretty much very good maintenance. Diesel consumption, very good as well. But it's red due to it's small because it only has 10 seats. Now that's good if you've got a very small tight route that's not really doing much. That's fine, it'll probably make money out of that because it doesn't cost much to run it and this, that, the other, and it only holds 10 people. Doesn't matter then, that's fine. But it's no good for us for a long distance trip. Service quality 70%, so people quite like the service. So you've got to make sure you've got a good number on here. Amber because it's not fully above 80%, so when you get to service you see below 80% gets it green, so you know you've got to bear that in mind. And acceleration mediocre means it's quite quick but not quick enough, so you get green if it's excellent, amber mediocre, and a red if it's poor. So we'll scroll on down here, so you can see this one says excellent but poor service quality. We're going to go down to the buses that I tend to buy the most, which is between these three. The Jubilee GL, the Evo Urban, and the Comet Sun. Now as we can see, it's telling us the Jubilee GL is quite expensive out of the others, and it is to buy, but it's better on maintenance and diesel consumption, but poor on service and poor on acceleration. As the Evo Urban is a bit cheaper, good on maintenance, bad on diesel consumption now. But same amount of seats at 26, service quality at 70%, and mediocre acceleration. The Comet Sun, as we can see, is the same price as the Evo Urban, but worse on maintenance and diesel consumption. So this one is more, will cost us more in maintenance and all. But as our service is quite a lengthy one, it has 28 seats, so we can take more people. It's a larger bus, and the service quality is 75%, so that is really good. Acceleration mediocre, so it's better than acceleration from that. So we're going to purchase one of these. So we'll click on that, and we'll put score list quality up to 14. Now if we didn't want it in bus depot 1, we'll just click that button here and we could choose which depot we want it in, but as we only got one depot and we want it in bus depot 1, we'll just click purchase. So there we go, the money's gone down, we've bought these buses and they're now in depot 1. So the next thing we could do, we could click the eye to get rid of the blue lines running across so we don't see that, and so it looks quite a nice normal route and everything. And we could push this button from red to green. So now our bus route is activated. So now the buses will run and make money as it goes along. So we should see a bus coming out when it gets to the time on the timetable. So we know that the time at the moment is 21:17. So the next bus it's just missed 21. So the next bus isn't going to be to 2300. So we'll fast forward time to 2300. Speeding it up, you can see the traffic moving quite quickly along. Oh, there it comes, out it comes, so it's at the stop, dead on time. So there we go. Here's our bus. That's the first bus. As we could click on the bus like we just done, and if you click this one you can centralize the camera and follow it. We can zoom out and look at it better like that. And so we can see this is owned by us, the model of the bus, the condition of the bus, the value of the bus, the passengers on the bus, the passengers transported today, the total passengers transported, and the daily average. So of course the value of the bus will go down because the more it runs along and this, that, the other, and maintenance and condition of the bus. So it's gone along, and you can see there's a passenger waiting at the next stop. So that would be a passenger for us. So it'll stop. As we can see, the person now gets onto the bus. So that makes one person on the bus, and that's an average of 10.6. So our income is 3. And of course it will go up the more bus services we're running, of people catching the bus. So the next thing I'm going to show you as the bus service runs along on our way is we'll move these up out of our way so you can keep an eye on them, and we'll move into the briefcase because that's quite important one to look at. So as we can see, our weekly cash flow as our ticket price of 3, our energy was minus 34 because the bus is running, the maintenance minus 59, that's because we have to pay for the maintenance of the bus, minus 3 because of the driver, and the total is minus 95 because of the ticket prices don't cover the thing. And we can come all the way down to telling us our whole expenditure and everything. So this tells us, so the bus, the tram, the trolley bus, sorry, the tram, the metro, the water boat, or the water bus they call it, and the monorail. So we can keep an eye on all our expenditure out of everything. So we'll move along. This is where we could get a loan. So if we turn around and say we want to take a loan out for better buses for this route, and we can't afford to pay it straight away. As you can see, the bus stop here has got a red unhappy sign because how long the bus. Really, I should have waited to when the time was coming to the time for the bus service to be activated when the bus comes, so it'll be running when it's activated. Because the best time to set it off is night because you don't get as many passengers at night as in the day, so you won't get so much bad, miserable comments at the start. So it's better off and down rating of your company. So we can see the bus is picking up people, picking up money, and the income is slowly creeping up as its expenditure now. But as we're going to go along, this is where we could get a loan. So we could turn around and say like this bus service is improving, getting really well, and we're making a lot of money, but we need better buses, and we can't afford to have better buses running, and we've improved the timetable as much as we can, but we need bigger caption buses. We could take out a loan and we can alter how much we pay, as you can see, how quickly we pay it back, and that's how much we pay weekly. Loan's very good if you turn around and you base it on a specific route. So like, if you know that, I would advise you that I'll take a loan out if you turn around and run in a metro train service, and we run the metro train service and we know that we'll make X amount of money out of the metro train service. We're going to be we want this many trains. We'll take a loan out, and we know that those trains will pay that loan back. So we don't have to do much. We don't have to worry about the loan payment. So we could turn around and say like, we need better buses for here. We can't afford them. We could take a loan, knowing this route will make X amount of money. Tell it to pay it back in a amount of weeks, so we know how much our bus route takes expenditure weekly, but know roughly out of the other stuff they'll still make us profit and keep us going in positive direction. So it's very important to look at it in that way. We'll move on to the employees. As we can see, we could pay our wage of drivers. So our driver's wage he's happy enough to be paid that. This is where we pay our mechanics and they're happy enough to take that. And we can also pay our inspectors. Now if you pay more to the mechanics, you should slowly see minutes per hour efficiency will improve, but we'll put it down because we're slow. We're not a massive big earning company, and we can increase the overcrowding capacity to 70%, so we could have 70% more than 28 passengers. So you can fill in more passengers than what you can normally take. That generally would be standing passengers. We can knock that all the way to 0, so it can only carry passengers that have seats, but we'll allow it to take 70% and with people standing. It will go yellow when it gets full. We may see that in a bit while we're plodding along showing you all this. So at the moment we have no inspectors which catch fare dodgers. So we can put one which will catch 85% of fare dodgers, which is a very good score because one is happy enough to catch that. But I'm going to put that as to 2, which is same amount efficiency, but it will give us a bit, at least then we've got enough fare inspectors running along the bus service, and if we expand we still have an inspector spare. We can then keep doing the count. It's important to keep an eye on how big your route is and expand the amount of inspectors, because the more inspectors you have, the more people you will catch fare dodging. So you've got to bear that in mind. So let's move into ticket prices. Now as we can see, all this is the ticket prices. Gets confusing and looks confusing indeed. So as we can see, we could turn around, push this button and it'll increase all the prices all at once. But as we can see, this one is a blue, so we can increase this one to green to white. So we'll increase the bus services to white. It's quite important to get your bus tickets to white, as that is what people are quite happy to pay. Blue is under, green is there, is slightly under but happy to pay. Blue is well under and very cheap, and you get to dark blue, which is too cheap. But people will pay it, we're happy enough to go on it, but it is too cheap. So you've got to bear that in mind. So they're happy enough to pay the white, and of course it'll go up to yellow, which they're not so happy to pay for the quality of the service, and it'll go all the way up to red, and you'll find people not catching the bus so much. So there we go, that's roughly it. These are the different zones which I will cover in the next series, which I'll be doing these weekly, so I hope you enjoy them, coming out nice and weekly. So that's pretty much it. I'll just speed this up a little bit so you can see it going along, picking up passengers as it goes along as it's night. And if we go back to the table, we can see we're making a bit of money, still minusing out because we haven't covered all our costs completely, as we can see on the income wise here. But sooner or later we will do. When it gets to the day, we'll probably make a nice bit of chunk of money, and in our run services we'll be making quite a bit of money, which would be very nice for us and the company be going forwards. So as I've been waffling on a bit, and it's been about half an hour now, this video, over half an hour this video, as my time is telling me below, I'm going to leave it here now, ladies and gentlemen, just so we can, so I don't want to bore you too much and go on too much on this. So I think the next one I will move on to this, which we've shown you showing you, as we can see, show transport zone. It's all yellow at the moment because it's all under one zone. We'll change it to different zones, which then will also improve our money income coming, as you'll pay to go between each zone. You've got to be generous with the zones, of course, but and then we'll then be able to increase the fares in these different types of zones, which then will be very healthy for us indeed. So I hope you enjoyed this little run through on this and building a route. Please don't forget to, if you liked it and enjoyed it, please don't forget to like this video. If I know people are quite enjoying this video and everything like that, I'll be encouraged to make more videos of it indeed. Slowly coming into the centre of Cardiff, as you can see. We're going along Newport Road as we speak at the moment. And so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, comment below if you have any idea or opinions you would like me to do on this. Please don't hesitate to comment below. I'll be quite happy with any comments and what people would like to say, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, there's a link in the descriptions of my Facebook and Twitter, and also a link, as always, of the game I am playing, where you can download this game and stuff, and I'll also link for the map so you can get it off the workshop as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. So till next series, I hopefully you enjoyed that. So till next time, I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, there will be still every Friday coming out would be my videos of Train Simulator and OBZY 2. So they will be coming out every Friday. So don't forget to watch them as well. So till next time, hope you enjoy, and bye for now. I'll just close all these so you don't have them all in your way, and I should say bye for now.